My name is Dawn. Welcome to Only the Veggie Best, where I make mostly whole food, always plant-based recipes. And today we're going to make blueberry muffins. When I was growing up on Christmas Day, we always had for breakfast blueberry muffins, quiche, and bagels with cream cheese. And then when I had kids of my own, I carried on that tradition. And now that they're grown, I'm still making them and having them on Christmas. So I tried out this recipe a couple of weeks ago with whole wheat flour and fresh blueberries, and they turned out delicious. But this week I'm going to make them with some unbleached white flour and frozen blueberries, because I think that those items are a little more readily available for everyone, and especially in the winter, fresh blueberries can be really expensive. So that's what we're making today. Let's get baking. Okay, so the first step in this recipe is we're going to have our 3/4 cup of plant milk. This is almond milk, but you can use really any milk that you like, oat milk, soy milk, doesn't matter. And we're going to add a tablespoon of ground flax seeds and a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Then we're just gonna whisk that vigorously. And you wanna whisk it until it's like pretty frothy. Okay, that looks good. So we're just gonna set that aside. Next, we're gonna get a medium bowl and we're going to sift our dry ingredients together into it. Now I have this sifter that I'm going to use, but if you don't have a sifter, you could use a mesh strainer like this and just put it in and kind of hit it like that, or you could just use a fork and really aerate it. So what I have here, 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to put all of that into my sifter. So I'm just going to add these ingredients in with my flour. Okay, now we have everything sifted up nicely, nice and fine and aerated, and this will help keep the muffins lighter and not make them so dense. We're going to kind of make a well in the center. So you just kind of want to pull up the sides of the flour, and we're going to pour our wet ingredients into the center. And what that does, it just makes it easier to incorporate the wet into the dry. So now we're going to add in 1/2 cup of applesauce. This is just unsweetened, plain applesauce. 1/2 cup of maple syrup. And 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then we're just going to incorporate the wet and the dry together. Like I said, you want to mix it well, but you don't want to overwork it and have the dough get tough. And once we get this all incorporated and mixed together, we are going to fold in the blueberries. So I'm using frozen blueberries. I didn't let them thaw. I'm leaving them frozen because when they thaw, obviously all the liquid comes out. Even though I'm using them from the frozen state, they're still probably going to turn the muffins blue. So if you really don't want your muffins to turn blue or purple or whatever color they're going to end up, use fresh blueberries, and then that won't happen. The fresh ones, they did come out really pretty because the berries kind of burst and oozed some color down, so that was really pretty. But like I said, I know they're really expensive this time of year, and it's just easier and more cost effective for people to get frozen blueberries. Here's my cup of frozen blueberries that I measured out and kept in the freezer until now. And they're a little stuck, so I'll just get them out. But see, there's a lot of like little ice crystals, so when I mix them, I can already tell it's going to kind of turn the batter a little bit. So you see how it's turning the batter purple, but that's okay. So I think that's pretty good. So when I preheated my oven, which is at 350 degrees, by the way, I prepared my baking pan, so you should do that first before you make this. And if you're trying to be oil-free, which we are for the most part, you can use silicone baking cups or a silicone pan, and you don't have to spray the pan or use any oil or anything like that. But I don't have a silicone pan, and I don't want to use papers because I just like the way muffins come out when they're touching the pan. So I did take little spritzes of spray, and I sprayed each little well. Took a paper towel and wiped and wiped and wiped, because I only put a tiny spritz in each one so that it coats the whole cup, but it also blotted up most of the oil. So there's very minimal oil in here. So if you are completely oil-free, please feel free to use, like I said, silicone baking cups. I really want to get a silicone pan. So if anyone has a recommendation for a good silicone pan, please let me know and I'll check it out. So now you just want to evenly distribute. This is so funny, you guys. I'm like, wow, this seems like pretty. I never put the milk in. I'm like, wow, this is really dense dough. Look at this. I never put the milk and the, oh my goodness. Well, you know what? We're gonna go with it. Here, let me show you. Too late to go back now, right? So when I made the well in the middle, I forgot to put the milk in. That is so funny. Well, so much for not overworking the dough, huh? See, that feels better. I thought, wow, the dough, I mean, it's gonna be super purple now. Ah. Hey, you know what? This is real life. This is the real things that happen. And I don't have time to make a whole nother batch and get all the stuff out. So we're gonna go with this and we're gonna hope that it works. Fingers crossed. And that they're not super tough, because I have to do all this stirring again and mixing of this. These things happen, right? I think that's good now. I just wanna make sure. If everything always went perfectly, life would not be interesting. Wow, that's a big difference. Huge difference. So you just want to fill them most of the way. So I scrape every last bit out of the bowl. Waste not, want not. Why put it down the drain when you can have a bigger muffin, right? There we go, and we're gonna go into the oven. I'm gonna check them at 20 minutes and we'll see how much longer. Just came out of the oven. They smell fantastic, delicious. So I'm gonna let these cool now, probably for around 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna remove them. If I have to, I'll use a little knife to go around and I'll pop them out, put them on my cooling rack and won't put them away until they're completely cool. But they look great. Okay, I'm so impatient that even though I say like, let them cool completely and then take them out, I like pop them out after like 5 minutes. But they really look gorgeous, don't they? They look like they came out really nice, even with my faux pas of almost not adding the liquid in. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. They do look fabulous. They're still warm. I'm gonna let them cool for a couple more minutes before I break one open. So there you have it, healthier blueberry muffins. Even with my faux pas, they still came out great. I also think that these would be great with chocolate chips. I will be making those another time. I hope that you try them. Let me know if you do, what you thought of them, if you liked them. And don't forget, if you know of a good silicone pan, muffin pan, cake pans, anything like that, and you have any links, you can let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And remember, life is too short to eat fake foods. Have a happy and healthy week, everyone. And I will see you in the next video.